Welcome all, Bilash here. So this is session 1 on the unit 3 long-term investment decision. So in the investment decision we have two topics. One is capital budgeting, cost of capital, and second one is risk analysis. So in this session I am going to talk on capital budgeting decision with the various methods. So let's start with the capital budgeting. So what is capital budgeting? Capital budgeting is the process of evaluating and selecting long-term investment projects that achieve the goal of owner wealth maximization. So capital budgeting decision is both a financial commitment and an investment. By taking on a project, the business is making financial commitment but is also investing in its long-term decision that will likely have an influence on future projects of the company considers. So features of the investment decision is exchange of funds for future benefits. Funds are invested in long-term assets. Future benefits will occur to firm over a series of years. The purpose of capital budgeting projects include to expand, replace and renew fixed asset over a long period. It requires intensive planning as it involves commitment of financial resources to a project on a long-term basis. It is important that a firm makes the right decision. A wrong decision can lead to huge financial distress and even bankruptcy for firm. The longer the time horizon associated with the capital expenditure, the greater the uncertainty in the capital budgeting. If a business has no way of measuring the effectiveness of its investment decision, chances are the business would have little chance of surviving in the competitive marketplace. So that's why capital budgeting is important while making long-term investment decision. A capital budgeting decision is both a financial commitment and an investment, as I told you. Classification of investment decisions. Type A, expansion and diversification. Adding capacity to expand existing operation and expand by adding a new business or a new project. B, the replacement and modernization to improve operation efficiency and reducing the cost. This is the classification of investment decision. The type 2, mutually exclusive, same purpose, compete with each other. So capital budgeting in investment decision has to survive and compete with the each other. It has to independent, different purpose, do not compete, and contingent dependent projects. These are the classification of investment decisions. Stages in investment process. First, generating alternative investment proposals. This is the first step to start investment process. Then estimating the incremental cash flow associated with the projects. Here in the statement, in the process, has to mention incremental cash flow associated with the particular projects that company has considered. Estimation of required rate of return, opportunity cost of capital, and evaluating and selecting project. So based on this, after mentioning all the cost of capital, have to select the project which will help owners to increase his wealth. Decision making criteria in capital budgeting. So long term investment decision based on the capital budgeting considers the time value of money. It also focuses on resultant cash flows. It uses a firm's cost of capital as a discount rate to evaluate a project. For selecting a project, consider all cash flows to determine profitability. Should help ranking the project according to their true profitability. It should recognize the fact that bigger cash flows are preferable to smaller ones and early cash flows are preferable to later ones. Should help in choosing among mutually exclusive project. So when a firm is presented, let me tell you how capital budgeting works. When a firm is presented with a capital budgeting decision, one of its first steps is to determine whether or not the project will prove the probability. Right? So that's why time value of money has to consider, and it should focus, it should mention all cost of capital as a discount rate to evaluate the project. The although an ideal capital budgeting solution is a such that all three metrics will include the same decision, this approach will often produce contradictory results depending on the management preference and selecting criteria. So more emphasis will be pushed out on one approach over another. So converting accounting flow to cash flow. Here you can see earning before depreciation and taxes. This is EBITDA, earning before taxes and depreciations and amortizations. The cost is 20,000. Depreciation, once we debited this amount from cost 20, the earning before taxes is 15. Then we have to do EBIT, that is earning before tax. We have to debit the tax amount from the earning before taxes, that is 7,500. The answer is earning after taxes is 7,500, right? So 15,000 is earning before tax, right? So in the last session on the budgeting and probability and the cost volume profit, we have learned how this net margin ratio is calculated. So we are using the same method here. So earning before taxes is 15,000. So here EBIT, we will use the EBIT method. Earning before tax is 7,500. We will debit the amount from earning before tax. So we will get the amount which shows the earning after taxes. The amount is 7,500, and then we will add the depreciation. Why depreciation we will add? Why? We have to show the cash flow, right? Here we don't have to show net margin profit. Here we are showing cash flow. That's why we are adding depreciation here. So 7,500 plus 5,000, the amount is 12,500. This is how converting accounting flow to cash flow is happening. So methods of evaluating investment proposals. So we have 5 methods to evaluating investment proposals and making investment decision for long term based on capital budgeting. So first is net present value, that is NPV. Net present value, NPV. The present value of cash inflows minus the present value of the cash outflows. This is the basic formula. The net present value approach is the most intuitive and accurate valuation approach to capital budgeting problems. So discounting the after-tax cash flows by the weighted average cost of capital allows managers to determine whether a project will be profitable or not. Or unlike the IRR method, NPS reveal exact how profitable a project will be in comparison to alternatives. So IRR method means this one, internal rate of return, that we will learn in next slide. So this is the NPV. The future cash flows are discounted back over the life of the investment. The basic discount rate is usually the firm's cost of capital accepted or rejected decision. If NPV is greater than 0, accept the project. This is the basic formula. If NPV is less than the 0, then reject the project. So for calculating NPV, we have formula C0, that is the initial investment, plus C1 cash flow divided by 1 plus R, that is a discount rate, 1 plus discount rate, plus C2 another cash flow plus 1 plus discount rate squared by 2, and plus this will happen. Likewise, how many times the company is involved in the cash flow, like that, the C3 C4 will be added, and last C time CT divided by 1 plus R squared by T, that is the time. This is how NPV is calculated. Internal rate of return. The internal rate of return that equates the initial cash outflow with the future cash flow. Internal rate of return is the discount rate where the cash flow outflows equal the cash flows, or NPV is equal to 0. That is, IR is simply the discount rate at which the NPV of the project equals 0. So making the decision for accepting the project, if internal rate of return is greater than cost of capital, then company will accept the project which they have considered. If internal rate of return is less than cost of capital, they will reject the project. So the internal rate of return, that means expected return on the project, is the discount rate that will result in the net present value of 0. Here I have mentioned. Since the NPV of the project is inversely correlated with the discount rate, if the discount rate increases, then the future cash flows become more uncertain and thus they become worth less in value. If IR, which is greater than the weighted average cost of capital, suggests that the capital project is a profitable endeavor and vice versa. Next is profitability index. Profitability index is computed by dividing the present value of inflows by the present cash flows. Right? So decision based on the profitable index for accepting the project. If profitable index is greater than 1, then company will accept the project. If profitable index is less than 1, company will reject the considered project. The last one is payback period. A payback period calculates the length of time required to recoup the original investment. They compute the amount of time required to recover the initial investment. For example, if a capital budgeting project requires an initial cash outlay of 1 lakh, the payback period reveals how many years are required for cash flow to equate the 1 lakh outflow. A short payback period is preferred as it indicates the project will pay for itself within a smaller time frame. Advantages of payback period: easy to understand and use. Impasse is the shortened time horizon. Right? Why? Because payback period is calculated while making capital budgeting on investment decisions, and NPV IR is calculated late once the capital budgeting is done. Disadvantages of payback period: it ignores inflow after the cutoff period, fails to consider the time value of money, because in the payback period time value of money is not considered, but while making the capital budgeting the time value of money is considered. The disadvantage of payback period is fails to consider any required rate of return. Here required of return is not considered for payback period. So here we are done with the capital budgeting, cost of capital for long-term investment decision. Thank you. Best wishes.